Many women are related to the well in several biblical passages. And one of the teachings of this lesson is that the roles of the two were well outlined and defined. A man's role was to find water, dig wells, to build the well, and to protect it. Because the lives of your family and your community depended on that well, on that source. That was his job. He had to find water. So he would dig, and at times he would not find any. So would continue digging until he found water. So his job was to dig and find water, and later protect that well. What was the woman's role? Like the Samaritan woman, was to go to the well and to fetch water and to bring it to the house. Two different roles in which there was no resentment and no dispute, such as, why don't you get the water? Why don't you dig the well? Why do I have to protect the well? There was no such, why you, why me, as it happens today in many marriages. This conflict of roles, who should be doing what? And as we said, if you want to change sources, then you need to learn that in a marriage, roles must be well defined. I do my part and she does hers. I do my part well and she doesn't need to worry about mine, and she does her part well and I don't need to worry about it. And at certain moments, we will have to help each other, but there will never be resentment or dispute. Why do I have to do this or the opposite? No, there is a work in partnership. This is marriage. It's you knowing each one's role.
Yes, and you need to understand about who is in front and who is the one who is the helper. The woman is the helper. I know that this topic hurts a lot of women because we live in a society that to be a helper, it means to be inferior to many people. However, what I see is that to be a helper has a great value because the Holy Spirit is our helper. This does not make him inferior to us because we know his value. So the person who helps is the one who is there to support the other. It doesn't mean that this person is inferior, but to support. If I understand my role as a wife, as a helper, I'm not inferior to my husband. I'm not unable to do things. Maybe you have there a couple that the husband is alone because the wife does not want to be a helper. She says, I won't help him. I won't do this. This role is too small for me. I don't know how to do these things. We are 2025 Christiani, and he'll be alone. And you know, woman, you know. Because God gave to us men, the sixth sense. And she knows how much he needs support. He thinks about things that he'll never think about. Yes or no? Because God made us helpers. So we think about things that he won't. So if God gave to me this gift, so to speak, why not use it? So we help him like this. It's not to be servants, to not be able to look him in the eye. Things that people exaggerate. It's not about this. It's not to make women inferior. It's not to remove her rights from her. is not to make her to be belittled before men. No, not at all. People who don't understand that if the Holy Spirit is our helper, I represent the Holy Spirit in my husband's life. This is too strong. I represent the Holy Spirit in my husband's life. So to be a helper, it doesn't diminish me. No, to be a helper has more value. Let's say that I'm not a helper. I'll be what? If you remove the role of a man, that is to be the head, remove the head, what are you going to be? That is what we see nowadays. Two people trying to make a marriage work. No one can walk together because one is not helping the other, and there is no one being the head. That's what we see nowadays because people don't want to take on board their role in the marriage. When you are single, no, you are alone. You don't have support of anyone. If you live with your mom, with your parents, maybe you have the support of your parents, but you don't have the help. You do whatever you want. But when you get married, there is a biblical formula that works. So the man gets on board his role and the woman does the same. And this works really well. When Renato and I married, what did I expect from him? What any woman expects from a man? That he'll take care of her. What do you mean to take care? How will he take care if he cannot be the head? How do you take care of your body if your head does not decide to take care of it? So for him to take care of me, he needs to be on board on this role, and the woman needs to allow him to be the head. He won't do it because he decided. The woman needs to allow him. As the man needs to allow the woman to be the helper. I can want to be Renato's help. And one of the things that we had problems in our marriage in the first 12 years, because I wanted to be his helper, but he didn't allow me to be his helper. So I need to know my role, and I need to allow my partner to perform their role. This is how the marriage will be what God created.
This shouldn't be even a topic. It should be something that we talk about. For many centuries, millennia, this was never an issue. Never. Because neither the man nor the woman questioned it. Because it was something natural. As I just mentioned, who will dig the well? It's the man. He's stronger physically. Who will protect the well with their lives, with their weapons? Because it was an asset and others will try to take it. And it was the man who have to draw the weapons and fight. What could the woman do to contribute to it? He can bring the water. The man is busy with hunting, bringing the food. She doesn't need to hunt. She only had to fetch the water. There was a weight of the bucket with water, but it was never an issue. Until recently. So where this is a problem is where people are drinking from different sources. Understand, I'm not talking about water. I'm talking about information, voices that keep talking to you. We saw couples that they just need to go around the house to learn what are the chores, the work in the house, and find out 50% is yours and the other is mine. Because if the woman is doing 51% of the chores, they feel like a slave. Yes, these are the sources where people are drinking from. And as we've seen, men who say, no, you need to go out and work, you need to bring money to the house. At times, they don't need. Okay, there are times that there's a need, both need to work. But in certain cases, they don't need to. And the woman wants to be a wife, a mother, which is a work that is as worthy as any other, which is to be of a mother. But he doesn't accept it. He wants her to go out and make more money. Why? Because he's also drinking from the sources. So we're not trying to dictate how you should live life. Each couple has to decide on their role. For example, there are couples where the man cooks much better than the woman and is pleased to take care of the kitchen and the finances. Great. There's no problem with that. It works for them. The problem is that she disrespects him because he's in the kitchen, or he thinks he's diminished because she's making more money than him. Did you understand? So you should fit into your role.
It's not who earns more. It's not who earns more. Think about this.
Because if everything is ours, does it matter then if she earns more than me? If Christiane earns 100 times more than I, it doesn't matter. Will I not be earning too? I want her to earn a lot more. Come on. I'm not a fool. But to some, this is an issue. Because the sources of today, they say, my money, your money, everything's separate. Because they never became one. Then they are thirsty, hungry, they are sick, because they are drinking from polluted sources. If today's video helped you and you know someone that could benefit from it, share it with them, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you may do so now. See you later.